All right, everyone get ready, because today we are going deep into a world where Cinderella is dead and happily ever after is
Yeah.
a cruel joke.
Right.
We are talking about Cinderella Is Dead.
Okay.
It's a young adult fantasy novel.
Right.
And to guide us through this whole thing, we'll be using excerpts from the book itself.
Sounds good.
And don't worry,
Yeah.
no spoilers.
Okay.
You might be thinking Cinderella.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that a bit, well, basic?
I know, right?
But trust me,
Yeah.
this book
Yeah.
takes everything you think you know about this fairy tale and flips it on its head.
It really does.
It takes what you think you know
Yeah.
and turns it into something
Huh.
completely different.
Yeah. So it's fascinating how the author, Kalynn Bayron, takes this very familiar story
Right.
and uses it to explore some deeper issues.
Yeah.
Power, control, rebellion. We're not just going back to the original.
Right.
We're going like 2 centuries.
2 centuries in the future.
Yeah, in the future, in the kingdom of Mersailles.
And Mersailles is where Cinderella's happily ever after has turned into this really tyrannical regime.
Yeah.
Okay, so paint a picture for us.
Okay.
What's life actually like in this twisted fairy tale?
Okay. Imagine a society where women are essentially property,
Okay.
controlled by the men in their families. They can't even drive carriages,
Really?
let alone, have any say in their own destinies.
Wow.
And then there's this annual ball, this terrifying spectacle where the king's suitors
Yeah.
get to choose their brides.
Okay.
And it's less about romance and more about survival.
It really gives off some serious dystopian vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where we meet Sophia,
Exactly.
our main character.
Yep.
She's 16,
16.
dreading this ball, and already feeling just suffocated by all the rules of Versailles.
So Sophia represents this like simmering rebellion,
Right.
this yearning for freedom
Right.
that so many women in Versailles feel,
Okay.
but are too afraid to express.
Right.
We see this contrast
Right.
with her friend Liv,
Okay.
who actually dreams of being chosen.
Oh, wow.
It highlights how oppression can shape people's aspirations.
Yeah. It's like they're
Yeah.
forced to think a certain way.
Right, and to want certain things for themselves.
Right.
It's really interesting how Bayron takes these fairy tale elements
Yeah.
and twists them
Uh-huh.
to create this sense of unease.
Yeah.
Even the fairy godmother gets a makeover
Yeah, what happens there?
instead of this like benevolent
Okay.
magical being.
Right.
We have Amina, who's suspected of being a witch.
Oh, interesting.
There's this air of mystery surrounding her.
Yeah.
And then there's the Cinderella story itself.
Right.
We have the palace-approved version, this sanitized narrative
Yeah.
of love and happily ever after.
Right.
But then there's this hidden,
Right.
truer version
Passed down through.
through Constance's family,
Right.
descendants of Cinderella's stepsister.
Okay, so that's where it gets really juicy.
Right.
We start to question everything we thought we knew
Yeah.
about the original story.
Yeah, like why did Cinderella
Yeah.
marry the prince knowing
Right.
his cruelty?
And what's the real story behind this curse
Right.
that she supposedly spoke of?
Yeah, all these questions are the driving force of the novel.
Well, the whole thing.
Bayron is essentially challenging us
Okay.
to look beyond the surface, question the narratives we've been told,
Right.
seek out the hidden truths.
And speaking of uncovering truth,
Yes.
let's talk about Constance.
Okay.
She's a total badass.
She is.
Not only is she a descendant of Cinderella's stepsister, but she's also this really skilled fighter,
Yeah.
hiding from the king.
Constance embodies the spirit of defiance that runs through the novel
Yeah.
and their escape from the ball.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
Let's just say it involves a homemade bomb.
Whoa.
Talk about making a statement.
What an entrance.
Right.
So we have these 2 strong female characters
Yeah.
already questioning the system.
Uh-huh.
But there's also this whole network of rebels
Absolutely.
working against the king.
Right. This network represents a collective
Oh.
yearning for change. They recognize
Yeah.
they can't achieve freedom alone.
Okay. And their goal?
Pretty ambitious.
What is it?
They want to raise Cinderella from the dead
What?
to learn the truth about this curse.
To talk to her.
Yeah.
Wow.
They think she holds the key
So
to
you-
breaking the king's hold on their lives.
Okay, this is where the magic element really
Yeah.
kicks in.
Yeah.
We've got Amina, the
Mhm.
suspected witch,
Right.
with her knowledge of herbs and divination rituals. And then Sophia starts having these visions
Yeah.
in a pond
In a pond.
that seems connected to the king.
Uh-huh.
It's like Bayron is blending these fantastical elements
Right.
with very real struggles.
The magic in the story isn't just about spells and potions.
Okay.
It's a metaphor for the power of knowledge, intuition, and rebellion. It's about tapping into those hidden truths and fighting for a better future.
It's also interesting how Bayron uses these magical elements to create this atmosphere of suspense and mystery.
Yeah, like what do Sophia's visions mean?
What role does Amina play in all this?
Right, it keeps you guessing.
It really does keep you guessing.
And then there's that unsettling moment when Sophia encounters this creepy suitor at the ball.
Yeah.
The one who seems to have this vendetta against her friend Luke. Okay. And it turns out this suitor's family profits from the king's corrupt system.
Directly. So it exposes this whole web of power and privilege.
Yeah, it shows how oppression is not just about this one tyrannical ruler. It's about a system
that benefits certain people while silencing
and exploiting
others. And it's not just the wealthy and powerful who are complicit. We see the heartbreaking story of the seamstress.
Oh, the seamstress.
This woman who just wants to help Sophia.
Yeah.
But then
her husband betrays her fear.
Wow.
It raises a difficult question.
What's that?
How do people make choices when their survival is at stake? How do they find the courage to resist when the consequences are so dire?
It's bleak.
Bleak, for sure.
And then, to make matters worse, Sophia stumbles upon a locked room.
Locked room,
where a woman is being held captive.
Oh, gosh.
This woman begs Sophia to run.
Really?
To save herself. Adding another layer of secrecy and danger.
It raises the question, who else is being silenced? What other horrors
are being hidden?
So
Sophia does what any sensible person would do.
What's that?
In that situation. She flees the ball. Runs straight into the woods. And where does she end up?
A graveyard.
Of course. It's like stepping into a gothic horror movie.
Yeah.
And guess who she finds there?
Constance.
You got it.
Of course. It's almost like fate brought them together, you know?
Yeah.
Sophia, fleeing the ball, finds herself face to face with Constance.
In this graveyard. It's definitely a turning point. Constance becomes this guide for Sophia. Not just through like the physical world. But also through this whole hidden history of Cinderella and the curse.
And it's so fascinating how Bayron plays with this idea of hidden history. Constance reveals that her family, descendants of the so-called evil stepsister, they have a completely different version of the Cinderella story.
Oh, really?
One that paints Prince Charming in a much darker light. It really challenges us to think about...
To think about what?
Like, who gets to tell the story? Whose voices are silenced? How power can be used to just...
To manipulate the whole thing.
Manipulate the narrative. Like they're controlling the narrative. It reminds me of all those fake news stories we see today.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that history is written by the victors. Constance believes that Cinderella was trying to warn her family about a curse placed on the king.
A curse on the king.
That's manifesting in his rule.
So it adds this whole other layer of intrigue.
Intrigue and question.
Like what is this curse?
What is this curse,
How does it connect to his power?
And then there's this added wrinkle.
What's that?
Of the fairy godmother, Amina Constance. And her family suspect that Amina might have played a role in this whole thing.
In manipulating Cinderella and the prince. Potentially for her own gain.
Wow.
So it makes you think about the nature of magic itself. Is it a force for good?
For evil.
For evil. Or something in between? What were Amina's true motivations?
Was she playing someone else's game?
Right.
So many twists and turns. So with all these questions, Sophia and Constance, with Amina's help, start gathering herbs and preparing for this...
A divination ritual. They're literally trying to tap into the magic...
Of the past.
Of the past.
To understand the present.
To understand the present, yeah.
And during this ritual,
Sophia has another vision.
Oh, another one.
This time she sees the king's face.
Okay.
Surrounded by this
mysterious light.
Yeah.
It's like she's getting closer to the truth.
Closer to the truth, yeah.
But the truth is also becoming terrifying.
Yeah. And then things get really dark.
What happens?
They find the body
of their horse.
Dead. Killed by wolves.
Oh, no.
They're forced to flee.
Deeper into the woods.
Deeper into the woods.
And they end up
at Amina's cabin.
Yeah.
It feels both safe and unsettling.
Right.
It's like this hidden world where reality and magic are blurred.
And inside the cabin, they find a spell book with a warning.
Okay, what does it say?
This book contains knowledge of the highest order. Mm-hmm. Use it wisely.
Okay.
Use it with caution, or it will use you.
Whoa.
Chills, right?
Yeah.
It's like that classic warning about the dangers
of magic.
Yeah.
But then there's a bigger shock. What's that?
Amina reveals that she is the one who helped
put the king on the throne?
Errant king, yeah.
And guess what?
He's her son.
He's her son.
Oh, my gosh.
This completely changes things.
It really does.
Amina, the seemingly benevolent witch, is complicit in the very system that we're fighting against.
And then she drops another one.
What?
She says that Cinderella intended to kill the prince,
but
failed.
Family secrets.
It makes you wonder what other secrets are buried. What sacrifices were made.
Right.
So with this newfound knowledge, Sophia and Constance start plotting to take down the king.
Right. This unlikely alliance is forming.
Yeah. It's a reminder that revolutions are messy.
Yeah.
Alliances are fragile.
People are rarely all good or all bad.
And then there's this interesting thing about Amina.
What's that?
Sophia notices that sometimes she appears much younger.
Yeah, like she's using magic to alter
her appearance. Makes you question her even more.
Right. What is she hiding?
What are her intentions?
But Sophia also has her own family secrets.
Really?
She discovers that her grandmother was executed for speaking out against the previous king.
Wow.
So it connects her personal struggle to this much larger
fight
for freedom and justice.
It highlights the cyclical nature of oppression.
Right.
How fear and silence are passed down
through generations.
But it also shows the courage to
speak truth to power,
even when it's dangerous.
And with the threat of the king looming, they decide to use this winter cotillion, a mandatory event for all young women,
as their opportunity
to confront him,
to confront the king.
It's risky.
It's a risky plan.
Infiltrating this heart of power.
But they're running out of options.
It's David and Goliath.
Yeah.
These three women,
armed with their wits,
their skills,
and a little bit of magic,
up against this
seemingly invincible force.
Right. And to make matters worse, Sophia's visions, they're getting more intense.
More disturbing.
Yeah.
It's like she's tapping into this dark power.
But she doesn't know what it means.
So they decide to dig deeper into both versions of Cinderella's story
to find clues about
the curse
and how to break it.
Bayron is so clever
in how she uses these competing narratives
to highlight the manipulation,
the control of information.
The official story,
sanctioned by the palace,
is designed to uphold the king's power,
to silence dissent.
And as Sophia and Constance compare these two versions, they notice some discrepancies. Like the official story says that Cinderella's stepsisters mutilated themselves to fit into the slipper.
Oh, wow.
Constance's family just says they tried it on and it didn't fit.
It's a subtle difference.
But it speaks volumes
about how history
can be twisted to
demonize people who challenge authority.
Right.
And throughout all of this, Sophia is determined.
Determined to what?
To find Cinderella's journal.
She thinks it holds the key to understanding the curse.
And defeating the king.
It's like a quest for knowledge, a search for truth.
Meanwhile, Constance is busy training Sophia.
Training her
in sword fighting. Using a gourd as a practice target.
It's a funny detail, but it shows
their resourcefulness.
Their ability to
find joy.
To find joy. Even in the midst of danger.
Even in the darkest of times?
We need those moments.
Of joy, right?
Yeah.
But the threat is always there.
Right.
Sophia is haunted by nightmares.
About
reliving the moment when she
stabbed the king. Yeah. It's a constant reminder of his power.
Driven by these nightmares. And her desire for answers.
Yeah.
Sophia goes to see Aaron.
One last time.
One last time.
To warn her.
To convince her.
To join the rebellion.
It's a heartbreaking encounter.
I bet.
Sophia's love for Aaron clashes.
Yeah.
With Aaron's fear.
Right.
And her desire to conform.
Aaron accuses Sophia of being selfish.
Really?
Yeah.
Of putting her own desire.
Of the safety of others.
Of the safety of others.
And it's a valid point.
It is.
Revolutions aren't neat and tidy.
Right.
They involve sacrifice and choices.
How far are we willing to go?
Right.
To fight for what we believe in?
Yeah.
Are we willing to risk
the safety of those we love?
Sophia realizes that she can't force Aaron
to change.
And they part ways.
Leaving Sophia heartbroken.
But even more determined.
Determined to fight for a better future.
It's a moment of growth.
Yeah, she's letting go.
Of the past.
Of past, yeah.
Accepting that not everyone will join her. The day of the cotillion.
Yeah.
Sophia, Constance, and Amina prepare.
To confront the king.
It's a moment of reckoning.
Yeah, the culmination.
Of all their planning and sacrifice.
And Amina's magic plays a role.
Yeah.
They go to this magical tree.
A magical tree that grants wishes.
Yeah. And Sophia wishes for a dress.
Classic fairy tale trope.
But with a twist.
Yeah.
This time, the magic is empowering Sophia.
Not trapping her.
Exactly.
This dress appears.
Shimmering silver.
Fit for a warrior queen.
It's a symbol of her transformation.
Right. She's no longer that scared girl.
Yeah.
She's stepping into her power.
And Amina gives her a quartz dagger.
Oh, a weapon.
Charged with magic.
For protection.
A reminder that sometimes we need both physical and spiritual armor.
So Sophia and Amina
head to the palace.
While Constance sneaks in through the mausoleum.
They're coming at the king.
From all angles.
It's a clever plan.
Yeah, but getting past the guards
is a challenge.
Luckily,
Amina has a few tricks.
She transforms into a little man.
It's hilarious.
So they incapacitate the guards.
And Sophia
enters the palace.
Ready to face the king.
It's a hard-stopping moment.
She's stepping into the lion's den.
Inside.
Yeah.
The cotillion's in full swing.
The king is there.
Giving a speech about
his absolute power.
And the importance of obedience.
It's chilling.
But Sophia isn't backing down.
When he tells her to bow,
she refuses.
She refuses.
Small act of defiance.
But it speaks volumes.
The king intrigued
by
Sophia's spirit.
She takes her on a tour
of the castle.
And
he leads her to
a dungeon.
A dungeon.
Classic power play.
It's a reminder
of the consequences.
But Sophia escapes
from herself.
From herself, yeah.
And she frees
the other women.
Powerful moment of solidarity.
A reminder that it's not just about
individual survival,
but collective liberation.
With the other women free.
Sophia confronts the king.
In the ballroom.
In the ballroom.
The moment of truth.
But just as it's reaching its peak, we'll have to pause here.
I'll let our listener
savor the anticipation.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's the showdown.
Yeah.
Sophia. Facing the king.
And the tension is thick.
Thick, for sure.
The king is talking about
what?
How he's sculpted the kingdom.
To his liking.
How everyone bends to his will.
Classic villain
move.
But it's interesting how Bayron undermines his grandiosity.
How so?
The ballroom is described as
opulent,
but decaying.
Oh, wow.
Cobwebs and chandeliers.
Yeah.
Cracks in the marble floor. It's like his visual representation of the rot.
That lies at the heart of his power.
Right. It's like
that fancy facade is crumbling.
Yeah, and Sophia sees right through it.
She calls him out, telling him that no one is genuinely happy.
Really?
They're all just living in fear.
It's like this powerful moment.
Of truth-telling. Yeah, and Sophia's language
shifts.
It becomes more assertive, more direct.
She's not pleading.
No, she's not begging.
She's stating facts.
Stripping away that illusion.
Of control.
Yeah, so how does the king react?
Oh, I bet he takes it well.
Not so much.
What happened?
His composure cracks.
Oh.
We see this physical transformation.
What? Like what?
His skin starts to rot.
Oh, gosh.
Eyes bloodshot, teeth elongate, fangs.
Oh, my gosh.
It's like his tree nature is breaking through.
Bayron is showing us
the ugliness of power.
And Sophia realizes
that
her quartz dagger,
the one with protective magic,
it's
useless
against him.
Yeah, he's impervious to physical harm.
Oh, so the stakes just got higher.
Way higher.
If conventional weapons won't work.
What can she do?
And then, just when things are looking bleak,
Yeah.
Constance bursts in.
Sword drawn, ready to fight.
Talk about a grand entrance.
But before Constance can strike,
Amina appears.
and she's frantic. Oh, no.
She pleads with the king.
To do what?
To remember their agreement. She reveals that she's his mother.
Mind blown.
It recontextualizes everything.
Amina's motivations are so complex now. She's not just this good witch.
Right.
She helped create this system.
Its good intentions gone wrong.
Horribly wrong.
Sophia feels
betrayed.
Manipulated.
But she doesn't give up.
She taunts the king
by
telling him that Cinderella never loved him.
Really?
And intended to kill him.
She's playing it smart.
Yeah.
She knows that the king's power
is rooted in this story.
In this fairy tale.
So by exposing the truth.
She's chipping away at his authority.
And the king. He loses it.
Transformation.
He becomes grotesque, consumed by rage and despair.
Magic versus magic.
The fate of the kingdom is at stake.
And then Sophia remembers the court's dagger. She stabs the king.
Yeah.
It works.
And the court's
disrupts his magic. And he starts to
crumble.
It's a moment of triumph.
But it's bittersweet.
The king is a victim of his own ambition.
Amina is trapped by her choices.
Yeah.
Even in victory.
That can be loss.
So Sophia and Constance escape.
Leading the other women to safety.
A scene of liberation.
Yeah, women reclaiming their power.
But the fight's not over.
The king may be gone.
But the system,
the laws,
they're still in place.
Revolutions aren't just about
toppling tyrants.
It's about dismantling systems.
Rebuilding something better.
Cinderella Is Dead leaves us.
With
Sophia, Constance, and the other women.
Going where?
Back to Cinderella's home.
Ready to rebuild?
Their lives and their kingdom.
Knowing that true equality
is a long fight.
So what does this all mean?
It challenges us to question the narrative.
Look beyond the surface.
To seek out the hidden truths.
Power can be corrupting.
Even those with good intentions.
Can become complicit.
In systems of oppression.
It also shows the power
of resistance.
Of speaking truth to power.
And fighting for what's right.
Even when it seems impossible.
And most importantly, we're not alone in this fight.
There are others struggling.
Resisting dreaming.
By joining together.
Sharing our stories and our strengths.
We can create a world
where everyone can live freely.
So to wrap up this deep dive,
I have one final question.
What's that?
What would you do in Sophia's situation?
Would you conform?
Or would you risk everything?
To fight.
We hope this deep dive has inspired you.
To think critically.
To challenge things.
And never give up hope.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep.